Hello, welcome to another fantasy football tournament series number 90. This is the Arabian Sea Cup. Nations that share a border with the body of water known as the Arabian Sea, stretching from as far east as India to as west as the African east coast of Somalia. Now, there's 8 nations in this tournament, and a few of my fantasy football tournaments in the past have been geography based. Well, many of them have. I made a few that were centered around the largest mountain ranges in the world. I still have to finish that series. And I thought, you know what? Why not oceans? Why not seas? And the Arabian Sea is considered one of the 7 seas of the world, one of the great 7 seas of the world. So consider this the start of a series within my series of sea tournaments. And then I'll do a Cup of Sea Champions. Technically, this already started several months ago when I did the Mediterranean Cup. I think that was last year. But the 7 seas, off the top of my head, are Mediterranean, Arabian, Bay of Bengal, Atlantic, Pacific oceans, Arctic, Indian, and I believe that's all. But there are 7 in total, and I will have a 7 seas Cup of Champions once this series is completed. But for now, this is the, I guess, official second installment of my Sea Champions, my Sea tournament. And I like to end the pre-international break session always with a fantasy football tournament, bring it to a nice round even number like 90. I did it for September when, on the eve of international break that month, I brought it to 80, 85 last month, now 90 this month. I always like to set the tone for international break with a sort of a send-off with a fantasy football tournament. We got a lot of stuff to cover in the next 6 days, guys. A lot of things wrapping up for 2019. Teams qualifying for tournaments, teams advancing to latter stages in various competitions, So, let's go through the groups. It is 2 groups of 4. Host nation I have selected is Oman. So in Group A, we have Oman, India, Somalia, and Pakistan. Group B, we have Iran, Yemen, Maldives, and the United Arab Emirates. So, let's go through this. Again, Oman is the host. Oman versus India. These 2 teams are actually in the same group currently in World Cup 2022 qualifying. Oman defeated India 2-1 on the road. Here in this tournament, we know India, we've been sort of seeing a Jekyll and Hyde with India. They lost at home to Oman in a game that was fully in their grasp, and they got a heroic draw on the road against Qatar, the Asian champions. I'm going to say India will get something from this game. In this scenario, I could see them opting to try to get to prove a statement that they should have beaten Oman the first time around. They will meet Oman in Muscat, though, later on during this World Cup qualifying season, I think in March. But the opening game between Oman and India, I'm going to give India a result here. I think they've shown they're capable of competing with Oman. A 1-1 draw. I think this will be a 1-1 draw. Somalia versus Pakistan. Well, Somalia picked up a famous victory in the first round of African World Cup 2022 qualifying with a first leg victory over Zimbabwe of 1-0. They did lose the second leg. They are eliminated already, but it was a first in Somalian history. Major step. And despite Somalia being one of the weaker sides in Africa, Pakistan is also one of the weaker sides in Asia, if not the weakest side. So I'm going to go with a victory for Somalia here by a scoreline of, I think, 3-0. I'll say 3-0 for Somalia. Then we move on. We have Oman versus Somalia. Pakistan versus India. Not controversial. It'll be in football this time instead of cricket. So Oman, the host nation, versus Somalia. Going with a 2-0 victory for Oman. Pakistan versus India, going with a 4 goals. Yeah, I want to say a 4-1 victory for India here over over Pakistan. 4-1. Then we have India versus Somalia. Pakistan versus Oman. Uh, will India's worst tendencies show up here? Will Somalia get the result? I'm going to say no. This will be a 0-0 draw. Very tight and tense. And Somalia will come away feeling they should have won this match. But 0-0 between India and Somalia. And between Pakistan and Oman, I'm going with a 5-0 No, I'm going to say more than that. I'm going to say a 7-0 victory for Oman. Pakistan very, very poor in the state of football. So Oman wins the group on 7 points. India comes in second, undefeated on 5 points from 1 win and 2 draws. Somalia, they do themselves a world of pride here, finishing with a very respectable 4 points from 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And Pakistan comes in last with 0 points. So the group finishes in the same order it was when it started. Pakistan and Somalia are out. Oman and India go through to the next round. Moving on to Group B, we have Iran versus Yemen and the Maldives versus the United Arab Emirates. So, Iran versus Yemen. Well, Yemen picked up a 2-2 draw against Saudi Arabia in World Cup qualifying. They're a team that is not among the strongest in West Asia, but they did qualify for their first ever Asian Cup earlier this year. They were in the same group as Iran. They were by no means an easy opponent, and they're sort of a sturdy, rigid side to put away, and they're making life very difficult in their qualifying group, along with Uzbekistan and Palestine, Singapore, and Saudi Arabia. I actually think the group that Yemen is in this year for World Cup qualifying is the group of death. And I'm going to say, Iran, they're not doing that well lately under Mark Wilmots. They lost to Bahrain last month. They play Iraq in a crucial game away. I think either tomorrow or next week. But they're still Iran. They still have the same core group of players they did from the 2018 World Cup, even if the management is subpar. I'm going to say this opener will be a draw. I think Yemen will play with a lot of heart and intent, and they get a 0-0 draw off of Team Melli here. Yep, I'm going to say a 0-0 draw. Maldives versus the UAE, going with a 6-0 victory for the United Arab Emirates over the island chain in the middle of the Arabian Sea and part of the Indian Ocean as well, Maldives. Then we have Iran versus Maldives and UAE versus Yemen. Gonna go with it'll be a 4-0 victory for Iran. It should be more, but they just don't look very convincing lately. I don't know. Iran tends to not really be a high-scoring side. So, but then again, didn't Iran beat Cambodia 14-0? Maybe Iran would win quite convincingly here. So, I'll say somebody beat Cambodia 14-0. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Someone tell me in the comment section. Was it Iran? Screw it. I'll say this will still be a 4-0 win for Iran. 4-0. And then between UAE and Yemen, gonna go with a 3-1 victory for the United Arab Emirates. Yemen will get on the score sheet late on. Let's see. Yeah, all right. So Yemen would then play the Maldives. UAE would play Iran. Yemen is victorious over the Maldives by a scoreline of 3-1. 3-1 for Yemen over the Maldives. Not enough to advance, but they do themselves well. UAE versus Iran, I would say a 2-1 win for Iran. Iran will do enough to win this group. If they come into this match on 4 points to the UAE's 6, I think Iran will come in and do what they need to do to top this group. So a 2-1 win for Team Melli. So Iran wins the group on 7 points. UAE comes in second on 6 points. Yemen comes in third on 4 points. Maldives comes in last on 0 points. So Yemen and Maldives are out. Iran and UAE go through. So the semifinals have Oman, the host nation, versus the United Arab Emirates, an Arabian Gulf clash. And Iran, Group B winners versus Group B runners-up, India. So these are the semifinals. Let me just make the flags in order, somewhat. So Oman versus the UAE and Iran versus India. I'm going to say, because Oman's at home, I think they'll win this match. High scoring, 3-2 in extra time. Oman wins over the Emirates, 3-2. And we have Iran versus India. I'm seeing a clean sheet for Iran, but again, nothing really quite emphatic. So a 2-0 win. A 2-0 win for Iran over India. So our third place game is UAE versus India. And I'm going to go with the scoreline of... there's going to be a lot of goals in this one. 4-2. 4-2 in favor of the Emirates. The UAE wins this match 4-2. So India finishes fourth in the Arabian Sea Cup. The United Arab Emirates finishes in third. And then the final is host nation Oman versus Iran. Can Oman capitalize on a flailing Iranian team? Not failing, flailing. Not really playing their best lately. A host nation. Scoreline prediction is 1-0 to... Nope, no, not to Oman. It's to Iran. Yeah, Iran does enough to win this tournament. So, Team Melli over Oman, 1-0. The host nation loses the final. Iran wins the Arabian Sea Cup. Iran in first, Oman second, UAE in third, India in fourth. Oman actually wins this tournament, I think. Iran wins this tournament, I think, without conceding a goal. I don't know, I'm tired. Did I have Iran? No, they conceded 1 in the group stages. Yeah, so they only concede 1 goal, I think. Iran, that sounds about right. I mean, they're better than the opposition in this tournament. I think the only teams that can beat Iran in this tournament would be Oman or the UAE. But yeah, I got Iran, the Persian Lions, winning this. So yeah, get a good look here. Those are the final standings. Mark Wilmot's man do just enough. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you soon, that being tomorrow, God willing. We got the final 6 days of international break coming up. I look forward, lots and lots of content, live streams, a lot to cover, guys. So I look forward to it as much as you do. And peace out.